This week, I've had an image in my mind of a grandfatherly man who is delighted by a baby. His face is glowing, big smile as he makes eye contact with this baby. His hands do something like this. The baby loves it and does something like this. The man is completely energized. His chi is focused and vibrant. His heart is open. This man, I'm speaking of this man delighted by the baby, is someone I know, but I don't know him well. I don't know what is in his heart. I do know that most of the time I see him, there is no baby. And the contrast is astonishing. With the baby, he is vibrant. Without the baby, his demeanor is rather neutral. He's mostly just going through the motions of life. He looks lonely. If you never saw him with a baby, you might think he was a curmudgeon, incapable of love. For days, weeks, months at a time, he barely forms a smile. But we have seen his love flare up. We know that he has an enormous capacity for love. His love is like the engine of a Ferrari that is stuck in the wrong gear. The baby gets him in gear and he is off. This man enthralls me because I can relate to him. The love inside me doesn't always have a way out. Often when I join a new community, I can be a wallflower for a while. I've got so much love to give, but people I've just met aren't ready for it. Normally, it is not appropriate to tell a group of people you've just met, I love you. And so I hold in that love. I need to be a wallflower for a while before it's safe for my heart to come out. Even without a pandemic, there can be too many reasons that our love does not shine. So I've said one reason if your love is not welcome, or you think it's not welcome. Reason number two, why you might not give love if you've been burned by love. Your love was accepted, but only for a time. And this can be a heavy one, so my heart goes out to you. Being heartbroken one too many times and not wanting to go through that again. And perhaps that's how you find your way here, a place where it feels safe to love. Reason number three why you might not give love. If you've turned into a curmudgeon. And this is especially possible during a pandemic. I went for a bike ride the other day and a car passed too close to me. And I felt myself frown, bit of an erg. And a few minutes later, I saw a pack of youngsters not socially distancing, and I realized that I wanted to shake my fist in their general direction. I was turning into a curmudgeon on my bike ride. So we can quickly forget what the bike ride of life is all about. Reason number four why you might not give the love. Maybe you believe that this isn't the place for it. And this is the Groundhog Day scenario, if you know that movie. Bill Murray is stuck in a town he doesn't want to be in day after day, month after month. And any love he has inside him does not matter because this town is not getting it. Maybe your current context does not seem capable of receiving your love, or you don't know how to love your current context. So you put your love on hold. I want to honor everyone's history of love. Some of us grew up without love. Some of us grew up with a love that hurt. And that actually feels like enough reasons not to give your love, but I do want to honor there are other reasons. Maybe you've been distracted by career or hobbies or addiction. Maybe you don't have structures in your life that facilitate love. I know that a lot of men my age have structured their lives so that they are never in touch with their friends. There's no natural structures like going to a tailgate party every Sunday. So they don't get together. We sit at home because that is the default thing to do. sometimes I'll people watch. I'll see people walking down the street alone, looking lonely. And I think there is so much love inside of them. I wish they had a way to get it out. If only there was a baby nearby so that they could go like this, and then the baby would go like this. Even in normal times, one of the biggest struggles in human life is the struggle of disconnection. And then you add in a pandemic and there's social isolation, financial distress, health anxiety. We can feel both stuck and overwhelmed. So our ability to love gets crowded out. So right now, let us find some space for love. We're going to listen to a song called I Am Sending You Light. It's by the musician and song leader Melanie DeMore, who sometimes travels in UU circles. I service led for her at the Hamilton congregation, and her love can fill the room. So let us take in her love. Well, that's so much. Really take that in. Much easier to love when my heart feels like it does right now. So I grew up in Kingston. I played soccer in the soccer league for little kids. And the way I remember it, there was a boy in the league. And one year he was not there anymore. He got leukemia and he died at the age of 8. His mother mourned, and you can imagine how much she mourned. And then she found a new direction for her love. She started a new fund to raise money to fight leukemia. And she named the fund after her son. And it brought the community together. She found new life by helping others not have to go through what she and her family went through. So the human spirit is unbelievably resilient. We go through the valley of the shadow of death, and somehow we come out to the other side. Or sometimes we just join each other in the valley, and that makes all the difference. The 16th century priest, Martin Luther, had an image of someone curled up in the corner, in the dark, in pain, unable to see the light. They are oblivious to any good in the world and trapped by their own spiritual emptiness. They are not feeling the love. Our grandfatherly man might be right there going like this, but they don't notice because they have curled up in their own sad predicament. They do not do this. So how do we get from this to this? How do we transform from a hardened heart to a heart overflowing with love? Religious people have often talked about this, talked about their own experiences of discovering or rediscovering love. If you want to read about it in fancy language, you can Google means of grace, or even just grace. But I prefer down to earth language because this is an essential human experience. Bell Hooks wrote a book about love, and she defines love as the will to extend oneself, to nurture one's own or another's growth. So love is a broadening of the self. Love says, I am not just going to sit in the park bench alone. I'm going to feed those birds. For example, I'm not just going to smile at babies. I'm going to volunteer at Planned Parenthood. Love is a broadening of the self. So how do we broaden the self, especially right now? There is the unexpected and immediate realization, that flash of realization that love is good and all beings deserve it. So some people describe this flash of realization as being reborn. And you can't plan to have this experience, it just happens to you. Then there is the conscious decision to believe that love is a powerful force in the universe. Some people decry the strategy because it sounds like you are strategically choosing what to believe instead of believing what is true. A robust thinker might ask, is love a powerful force in the universe? But a strategic thinker says, if enough of us believe that love is a powerful force, it will be a powerful force. Maybe even if only I believe it, it will come true. Believing in love is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's the most important thing. Once you believe in centering your life on love, you can find countless moments throughout the day where you can choose love. So that is my challenge for you today. The pandemic might have made you skeptical that love can flow through you so abundantly. So I am going to offer you a buffet of love. What in Buddhism is called, just a minute, what in Buddhism is called the Brahma Viharas, the 4 abodes of love, the 4 homes of love. So number 1 of these Buddhist ways of love is called metta. You probably heard of it, loving kindness. Recall that a couple of weeks ago we sang, may I be filled with loving kindness, may you be filled with loving kindness, may we be filled with loving kindness. A loving kindness practice is always available. When doing the dishes, loving kindness. When cleaning the litter box, loving kindness. The second thing in our buffet of love is karuna, or compassion. We tend to each other's sorrows every week. We scroll the internet just a little bit and feel empathy for all of the hurts of the world. Yes, when there's too much hurt in our lives, we can expand our sense of self by caring for each other's hurt. It's that sense of care that creates space in us. The third of the 4 abodes is mudita, or celebrating others' joy. We do this too every week in joys and sorrows. Mudita is when our grandfatherly man enjoys the baby's joy. So if there's not enough good news in your life right now, be intentional about finding and celebrating good news in your neighborhood and in the larger world. And the 4th of these Buddhist tips is samatva, or a serene warmth. Sometimes all you can do is pause and just listen to your breath and find a moment of peace. Sometimes from that peaceful place, love just appears everywhere and pathways open. So a pandemic is a great time to become a connoisseur of love. Just like Kathleen offered us a smorgasbord of languages of love, 5 languages of how we can give and receive love. Let's become connoisseurs of love. If you're feeling bored in these times, try to love, find a different way to love. Just try another way. There's so many ways to love. Let love flow through you 100 different ways. You could love, just love itself. So abstract if you like abstraction. Just love itself. Love your neighbors, even if they don't say hi to you, you can still love them. You can love the play of sunlight on the trees, so beautiful. Love how your kitchen experiment turns out, regardless of how it turns out. Love yourself, you deserve it. Love all the babies, even if we can't do this to them right now, for a little bit longer. Just take a breath. Remember how much love is in you, and let yourself be surprised by how your love can flow. I've gotten to know you a little bit over the last 3 months. I've gotten to know you in, I would say, a simple way, but it's a simple way that goes deep. I know that you have so much love to give. So may your heart remember what it already knows.